In 2010, I wrote an article. The name of the article was Teaching Grandma How to Create Software. This is 15 years ago. The article was published at the digi.no, Norwegian IT magazine, and every single Norwegian software developer that exists, and there's like 50,000 of them or something, I think, publicly laughed at me. Today, I am finishing what I started 15 years ago. Here I am at my Cloudlets, and I'm going to create a fully functioning CRM system with business logic. And I'm not going to manually create a single line of code. So first I'm going to go to Manage, I'm going to go to Databases, then I'm going to create a new database, I'm going to name it CRM. And then when the database is done, I'm going to edit it. And at this point I could manually add tables and manually create my schema. I'm too lazy for that, so I'm going to tell OpenAI to generate SQLite DDL for a CRM database with 5 tables. So now basically what this does, it associates my current schema, which is nothing of course, sends it to OpenAI, and OpenAI answers that request. When I execute this code now, of course the point being, at that point, when I've cleared my server-side cache, I do have a valid CRM database with 5 tables. You can see customers, leads, users, etc. So now I'm going to go back into SQL View, and I'm going to just tell it to populate all my tables with some example records. So now the reasons why this works is because actually Magic will take the DDL database definition language associated with my OpenAI requests, and OpenAI will then be capable of actually creating insert records for my tables. So now if I do select all from customers, for instance, you'll see I have 3 customers, John, Jane, and Alice. Right. So now I want to create HTTP Web API endpoints. Notice this is 80% of the job that we software developers typically do. And I'm going to make it, I guess we can have authorization for admin and root. I'm going to just generate the tables as they are, generate CRUD HTTP Web API endpoints around the tables without doing any configuration. You can configure this 11 million ways till Monday. So now the system produced like 4,500 lines of code for me. If I go into CRM here now, you can actually see the code that the system produced for me, and immediately I can now at this point, for instance, if I want to count contacts, okay, I can just like immediately execute the endpoint from here, and I can also retrieve contacts, and I can search for contacts, I can page limit, sorting, all that beautiful stuff. Right. However, now this is all kosher and nice and beautiful and all that beautiful stuff. However, it's kind of rigid, right? Let's say I wanted to have a send email.post.hl endpoint, right? Now and obviously what I'm trying to accomplish here is to create an HTTP post endpoint that allows me to send emails. Okay, sends an email to the specified email address. Will use server's default SMTP configuration settings. Now let's do add the name. Okay, string, email, okay, string, subject, okay, string, body, okay, string. Now let me just write into the, where the machine creates the code part, implement the code according to these commands. Keep the command as is. So now let's see what the system comes up with. And what is happening now is that we are actually using our own proprietary LLM. And you see it's not completely perfect, keeps on messing up a little bit here now. Let's go through it. Okay, mandatory name, email, subject, body, looks kosher. Creating our email message, that's kind of rubbish, isn't it? Because that's not what we actually wanted it to do. But maybe hello, name. I guess it's not too bad actually. It's kind of like a little bit of cool because it creates kind of like a template when it's sending the email. So actually it's working the way it is. And now I can just execute this endpoint. Thomas at inero.io. Hello from Cloudlet. Yo, let's see what happens now. Hopefully this will succeed without any exceptions. And it didn't work. Let's see why. Entity, content, because it forgot one single line of code. This is now the only line of code I actually manually wrote. Everything else was automatic. And boom, system sent me an email. And in the top right corner here, you would normally have seen notification of that I just got an email, but it turns it off because I'm running QuickTime. However, trust me, I got an email. So now let's say we want to do some logging on the, where we're posting contacts, right? Okay. Change my code such that it does some logging. And yet again, this works currently about 80% of the time. I need to emphasize it's not perfect, but actually this kind of worked, I guess. Add, let me see, log in for message get. Yeah, it actually applies my arguments as meta information. However, it's not actually supposed to add it into the message object because it doesn't allow for graph object. It's a single element thing. However, I guess it works. Try to create a contact. We need customer ID and all that stuff. I'm not going to mess with it. However, now that we have all of these things, let's wrap it into an AI agent, right? CRM. Create an AI agent by choosing the AI agent flavor. Go back to my Hyper ID here, choosing modules and CRM, hover over it, choose the flash icon, choosing CRM here, at which point the system is going to start an automatic prompt engineering process, creating RAG data for every single Hyperlambda file recursively inside of this folder, including my send email endpoint, including all the CRUD web API endpoints, including any custom code I have added. It's going to use the file level comment as the primary prompt engineering parts as it is inserting. And as you can see here now, it inserted 51 AI functions. I go to machine learning, choose training data, choose my type here now, CRM. And as you can see here now, the system is fully prompt engineered to become capable of actually executing every single function I have recursively inside of the folder where I generated the code. Now I can go to types, I can go to vectorize, like this. And once this process is done, I basically have an AI agent with CRUD capabilities towards my every table in my database. In addition to that, I have custom business logic, such as logging when you're posting a contact. In addition to that, I have the ability to send an email, endpoint, etc., etc. So now let's wait until this process is done and see how the system works in practice. And I need to emphasize, I created one line of code, one only. Yet still, the system contains 5,000 lines of code. Right, so now if I open my front end here, the AI expert system, which everything here comes out of the box with magic, I need to emphasize now. And I tell this thing to, show me your contacts. Right? And immediately what the system is going to do, it's going to reach out into my database, select all existing contacts and return them and render them using ChatGPT. So all of a sudden, ChatGPT now has access to my database, implying no more AI hallucinations and stuff like that. And in addition, not only read access, but I want to create a new contact. Right, let's see how it responds now. Now, the point being, at this point, the system has incomplete data. So it's going to ask me to provide the data it needs to actually create that contact. Now, contact table is a little bit too weird, so I'm going to do the customer thing. Okay, first name, Thomas Hansen, Thomas at inero.io. 555, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. And created that. Hopefully, if we leave it out, it is going to automate to today's date. Now, if I refresh, I do list all customers, you will actually see Thomas Hansen. Now I can tell the system I want to send Thomas Hansen an email. Ta-da! And what do you think the system's going to come back with now? Incomplete data. It's going to ask me for the information. However, at this point, it has the name and it has the email address, right? Obviously. So what it needs from me is the subject and the body, because the rest of the email invocation it actually knows. Okay, subject. Foo-bar, howdy world. Body. This is so freaking cool. Cool, I'm about to wear sunglasses. Because the future is so bright, I can't see without them. Ah. I accidentally hit clear. Yeah, subject, hello world, body, I was here, dude. And now the system sends an email. And realize I created this entire solution without manually creating more than one line of code. That's pretty cool, if you ask me. I am not entirely at the point where your grandma literally can create software for the record, and we're talking backend software here too, so I mean it's not like front-end GUI stuff either. But if you're mediumly skilled sysadmin with zero software development experience, dude, you can actually use this today to deliver functioning software and create software. If you know the basics of the HTTP standard, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and software development, idioms such as conditional branching, looping, stuff like that, you already know enough. You already know everything you need to know in order to use natural language to prompt engineer our magic cloud platform and have it generate code according to your instructions. And I need to emphasize Alex Erde, one of our partners. He actually ran through the Hyperlambda generator and tried to make it reproduce his registration API, which contains 4 different files: register a new user, verified user's email address, change password without remembering the old password, and things like that. And the system did it. He had to prompt engineer it a couple of times before it was successful, but basically the system did it. That's pretty kick-ass if you ask me.